It's time for another anime time with Soresan. So let's go. Alright, so we have the story here. Now the story, it's kind of vague at the beginning, but we have our two main characters, Nosaki and Sakura. Now they're both in high school, they're both sophomores, I believe is what they are. And Nozaki is a shoujo manga artist. Now he doesn't like this isn't something that everybody knows. Okay, this is a secret. Shush. He does this privately. He actually has an alias for the manga, a different name, all this other stuff. Now Sakura is a girl who is in love with Nozaki. Like she actually loves Nozaki, and so she kind of ends up trying to talk to him, right? She wants to ask him on a date, or she wants to like sort of express her feelings for him, and she messes up and says she's a fan now, and then he gives her an autograph. Then it turns into a compilation of them hanging out together, and she actually helps with his manga. Now, I think she did. I believe it was the darkening of certain areas. Uh, I don't remember what it's called, but it's basically he would draw like an X mark or something like that, and she would have to, darken it in, paint it black, or not paint it, but color it in black. Uh, so she now became like an assistant to Nozaki, which to her, at a to a degree, she's okay with it because then she can spend time with the person she loves. The problem is Nozaki's kind of, how do I put this? He's out of it, right? He doesn't notice that this girl loves him, right? And we do meet a lot of other characters, a lot of other colorful characters. There's way too many characters that I really don't feel like talking about because, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think that for the purpose of the review they're really necessary. But I can kind of, I guess, go briefly over them. But okay, so we have one that's called Mikoshiba, who Nozaki is Nozaki's best friend, and he uses him as inspiration for the female main character of his manga, for certain tendencies that Mikoshiba has. He also has another guy named Hori who helps him with the backgrounds, because Nozaki, he can draw the characters, like people he's amazing with. Like he can, like, those manga drawings that he does are amazing, and he also does the story. But backgrounds are not his strong point, so he has this guy named Hori, who's also the director of the drama club, help him out with backgrounds and stuff like that. And what ends up happening is that they do like an exchange. He helps him with the backgrounds if Nosaki gives him a story for a play for the drama club. And so it's kind of like an exchange, right? So they're both helping each other out in this exchange. He also uses other people around the school as inspiration for certain characters. There's one girl who I honestly just forgot her name right now, and he uses her as a character, as a rival character to the male main character of his manga. So it's basically the story of the show is the process of the romance between Nozaki and Sakura, or lack thereof, and the whole package of meeting new characters, new people, and new situations, which create new ideas for Nozaki's manga. So he basically, everything has a purpose to him. Everything can have some sort of inspiration for him. So that's kind of how it goes. Sakura is kind of there to go along with the ride, and it's pretty funny. I really liked it. It was a rom-com, so I personally laughed a lot in a lot of situations. But so that's gonna be the story. Now the animation style was actually pretty good. I really liked it. There were some certain points where, for emphasis of certain emotions, they would change the characters' faces. For example, there was one character who, for some reason, every time that she smiled, it literally looked like Ditto. I'm being straight up, but like it looked like her face was Ditto's face. It was really weird and really creepy. So it's kind of like the normal look is fine. It really is. Sometimes during the emotional stuff, you would see their eyes change, they get bigger, or like these weird like stuff. Sometimes they would have like flares come out or like little flowers, or the background around that character that's shifted into like excitement would change into like a colorful rainbow, stuff like that. So they honestly they used mainly background and like really emphasize facial expressions to show certain emotions. For example, there's also one where Nozaki gets depressed, and like you would just see like around him only you would see like a dark kind of shade that transitions from like a really dark black to like a somewhat dark blue, and it's literally all around him. And then his face would change a little bit to like this, like his eyes would grow white and like oh my gosh, something happened. So they used a lot of different styles here, but it kind of flowed together. So honestly, it didn't bother me. The music, unfortunately, I can't really recognize really any OST tracks, and the opening is kind of lackluster. I personally didn't like it, but that's just me. I know a lot of people might enjoy it. I'm a little skeptical. I'm very picky with my openings. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. But for the most part, I can't really say too much about the music. There were certain moments like when Nozaki and Sakura would be alone, and it would be kind of like it felt like there was sort of romance buildup that was gonna happen. There was a nice soundtrack in the background, but I can't really pinpoint it, so it's not very memorable. So that's what I'm trying to say. It worked well with the scenes, but it's not one that I can just like pinpoint exactly what was going on. Alright, so for the characters, and just like I said before, since there's really like and there is a huge cast of characters here, and honestly I could go into all of them, but to be quite honest, I feel like really if you're gonna if for the sake of the review, it's not necessary to talk about all those other characters. In fact, I feel like it's better for you to actually experience their personalities and the way they act in the show if you decide to watch it, than me telling you about it. So I'm gonna actually just talk about the two main characters, Nozaki and Sakura. Now, as I said in the story section, Nozaki is a shoujo manga artist. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what shoujo is the opposite of shonen. Instead of focusing on like very action heavy, awesome, ridiculous, flashy crap going all over the place, it's more geared towards women, towards girls, technically, not women, but girls. So it's more like the slow, like very romantic, very uh, just love infused kind of. It's more like I said, it's technically geared for girls, but I mean, heck, I know a lot of people. I know people, guys who watch shoujos or read shoujo. So it's not like it's very like anime can be for everybody. You can be a freaking 10-year-old boy watching Senin for all anybody cares, or a young girl watching Jose's, or freaking a 40-year-old man watching shoujos. It's for everybody. But it's technically geared for girls because it's very emotional, build up, romance, drama, stuff like that. But it's all centered around the theme of love. And so that's what he does. That's what his manga is all about. So, really, his whole life revolves around making this manga. So anything that happens, the whole end goal for it is to have some new material for his manga. So his next chapter, his next volume, what is he gonna do with this? How can he change this situation a little bit? For example, there was one scene which was the second to last episode actually, where because of a rainstorm, him, Mikoshiba, Hori, and then I really can't remember the dude's name right now, because he came in so late, so it's not like I had time to. Anyways, they all had to stay over at his house, and he literally used it as an idea for a sleepover for a chapter in his manga. So anything that was going on, like the fact that it was raining, the fact that the girls were stuck in the house and they decided to have a sleepover, and all this other stuff. So it's kind of like that's basically what was going on. Everything has an end goal for that. Now Sakura, being the girl she is, she's she's a very like she's an airhead for the most part, but she's also very shy with her emotions. She can't actually truly tell Nozaki how she feels. She kind of does at the end, but we're gonna save that for final episode stuff. Uh, but so sometimes she does things she wouldn't normally do just because Nozaki is involved. And really, some of the strives she makes in terms of the relationship always end up failing. She usually gets her hopes up really high. Actually, the beginning, like the first half of the series, her hopes are always really extremely high when Nozaki wants to do something with her. Because she thinks, oh my gosh, maybe he has feelings for me, all that stuff. But later on, she actually just started realizing that that's not the way he thinks. Because Nozaki's problem is, because he's always, manga first, when it comes to actual romance and relationship stuff, he doesn't know anything about that. He's not able to interact exactly, the way she expects him to, or the way she would like it to. But so towards later on, since she finally, kind of understands that's kind of what he was going for, her hopes are no longer there, which ends up messing her up because there are certain moments, like for example, in one episode, he asked her if she wanted to go home together, like if they wanted to walk home together. And so her expectations now is like, okay, so he obviously wants me to go help him out with something or whatever. And all he wanted was to walk home with her. That's literally all he wanted. Uh, and so she was skeptical the whole way, of like wondering what he wanted her to do. And they were just walking home. And then as soon as they get to where they have to split up, he's like, okay, bye, thank you for walking with me. And she's like, what? That's all it is? And she's like, yeah, I just want to go walk home together. And so she wasn't able to enjoy it because she was expecting something else. So it kind of bites her in the ass. So he's very unorthodox. That's basically it. But it kind of sparked the comedy a little bit. And I gotta admit, I love my rom-coms because they make me laugh. Now, for the most part, there are some rom-coms that are really bad. Like, just really bad. But this one was actually pretty funny and it was really, really interesting. So it's the chemistry between those two characters was able to work so well because of how unorthodox both of them were. So yeah, that's characters. Really short this time. I love it. Alright, so final episode time. This one was had me going, and it just I hate it. I hate the people who made this. I seriously do. Oh gosh, I hate you, whoever made this show, because I actually don't know right now. But okay, so this is what happens in the final episode. You have Sakura apparently found some chocolates in her fridge that were supposed to be for Nozaki on Valentine's Day, but she never was able to give it to him. After talking to her girls, her friends and stuff like that, and all this other stuff, she ended up talking to Kashima and Mikorin. Oh wait, no, that's not her name. Gosh damn, I can't remember her name. Anyways, this review is so bad. The point, she gets told to give it to him now, and because it's no longer Valentine's Day, it's not gonna feel weird because it's like getting chocolate. It's supposed to be for Valentine's Day so it might be awkward. It might have been awkward during Valentine's Day, but since it's not Valentine's Day anymore, it might be cool. It's okay. He might just eat it casually. They bump into each other, unfortunately, and the chocolates fall to the ground. Now Nozaki feels bad, and so he actually, like, looking at her, he thinks she's upset. So he actually decides to eat one of the chocolates off the floor to try to make sure she's okay with it. And because she's so happy that he ate one, he thinks that's bad. Like, damn, she's really enjoying the fact that I ate chocolate off the ground. But it's because the way she says it, this box of chocolates is filled with my love for him. So it kind of made her feel very touched in a way. And then it kind of shifts to, there's a festival that's going to happen. It's a fireworks festival, which I know festivals are common in Japan, which I would so love to go to one. Like, I would, oh my goodness, that'd be like one of the best things in the world. But there's a festival. Now, Sakura decides to go with her two friends, the two girls, and then literally all the characters end up going, individually in a way. Like, they all end up being in the same place because they're all going to go to the festival, because why would you not go to the festival? And so we have like certain pairings that go along, but they're not really pairings because it's not like they were literally the only romance aspect was Nozaki and Sakura, but there were other characters that liked certain characters, but nothing ever developed because it was kind of either once. I mean, all the relationships in the series are technically one-sided, but Nozaki and Sakura actually felt like it was a real thing, you know. Whereas the other ones kind of it really was one-sided. It's just the other person didn't really care or was not. Gosh, like for example, Hori's and Kashima's relationship that is literally just this is the director, you're the main actress, which but Kashima looks like a boy. I'm telling you that right now. Kashima is a girl but looks like a boy, and it literally is just he's the abuser because she's always doing everything wrong, and that. But she loves him, so it's really awkward. And other stuff like that. The point is, Nosaki and Sakura end up alone, which is something she's technically okay with, and he personally doesn't have a problem with. He doesn't mind being alone with her. It's just the romance isn't really, it's not clicking exactly. And so they decide as soon as the fireworks start happening, the place is crowded, so they decide to go into like this park, which was a little higher. It's still in the same vicinity, but it's at a higher ground, so they have a better view. Now he, of course, inspirations. He takes pictures and stuff like that. But then he's on like I don't know if you guys, if when you were kids, you had these things. I don't know exactly what they're called, but essentially it's just like a bunch of metal bars that are formed into a specific shape. I know that in my school we used to have dome one, but this one was like the bunch of squares stuff with different layers and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys know what that is, and I honestly can't. I don't remember what it's called, but it's one of those things. And Nozuki's already on top taking pictures and stuff like that, and so he invites Sakura up, but because she's wearing a kimono, she actually can't quite get there, and or not a kimono, a yukata. I'm so uncultural, guys. But she can't get up, and so Nozuki actually jumps down to pick her up and put her up there, which reminded her of her first day at school, which was the exact same thing. She was late for class, or she was late for school, and she was like running because she got on the wrong train. And when she got to the gates were closed, Nozuki was actually sleeping on top of the gates because he was, I guess, tired. And so he woke up, or she technically woke him up, and he was gonna help her up, but being the same thing, she couldn't get up, so he dropped down and lifted her, and that's kind of where her love for him, well, not in that exact moment, but she kind of had a rush right there, with the way she picked it, because it was kind of one of those like relationship picking him up stuff, like where it's like you're the guy and the girl's like this, and you're like holding her like this. That's kind of how it was, and that's really how it looked. So he helped her over the fence or the gate, and they were both talking. And then she was able to. She actually laughed, which was an important thing for her because she was feeling upset and kind of about to cry because she was late for school. And it was literally the same thing all over again here in this park. He did the same thing, literally the same way, and so all the emotions kind of like just rushed at you, and you're like, "Wow, this could actually happen here." And they're both sitting up there and they're watching the fireworks. And if you guys don't know this, but fireworks is actually a very like romantic thing for people to watch together. Like if you ever like go out on a date with a girl and there's gonna be anywhere near you, there's gonna be a fireworks display or fireworks festival or something along those lines. You better take her there because this is what I mean. I know it sounds like it's not, but it can be one of the most romantic dates you could do. And so it just feels like, oh my gosh, something's gonna happen here. This is gonna be ridiculous. And she actually, like during the fireworks, they're all exploding and doing all their stuff. She actually confesses her love for him. And then he kind of like the fireworks stop for a moment, and he looks at her, and so she's confused. She's like scared here, like did he hear me? Like what do I do if you heard me? And then we see some scenes of all the other other characters during inside the festival, and then it's like, oh my gosh, this is gonna happen. Can he's staring at her, and he leans forward. And I thought he was gonna kiss her, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna kiss. And he like whispers in her ear. She's like, I feel the same way too. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is real. It's gonna happen. And he's like, I love fireworks too. And I'm like, damn it, Nozaki, I just wanna. And it just hurt me. It hurt me to see that. It just, I wanted to die. That moment, I just wanted to die, and I was wishing I never watched this show just because it was a build up. I know it was a rom com, but there was actual romantic build ups in this show. And this felt like the culmination. It was the end. They were gonna be together for the rest of their lives, and it just ended like this. And I was like, no, why? And then I was just frustrated. And then the episode ends, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do with my life anymore. I don't. Okay, so I might have gotten a little bit too excited in that last segment, but I'm sorry. It's just the way it was. That's how it was for me. I literally was like, damn it, I wish I had never watched this show because it was just going to disappoint me in the end. If you skipped the final episode, never mind. You didn't hear anything. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Honestly, I personally think that this show is not worth watching. Don't even bother. But if you do decide to check it out, you gotta finish it because it is good. It is a good show. It's just that all the build up for that ending, it's just not. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth. Your heart. I mean, then again, because of the way I am, I get attached very easily with some of the emotional series, like series that bring out emotions. I get really attached to. So maybe it was just me. Maybe if you watch it, you're probably not even gonna care about that ending. I don't freaking know. And the point is, I think it's a good show. It is definitely a good show. It's worth finishing it if you decide to watch it. But because I already know how it ends, and because I already know everything that happens, I don't think it's worth watching in terms of I don't want anybody to suffer the way I did. I don't. It's that last scene was torture. It literally was. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like, comment, favorite, all that stuff in the description. Not description. In the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, feel free to check out the channel. Watch some other videos. And if you like what you see, feel free to join the Crockxen clan. I also have a Patreon that I recently started. If you want to support me and my content and my channel, I would really appreciate it. Links will be in the description. Also, my Twitter, Facebook fan page, Google Plus is not down there, but it's on the channel page. So in case you want to follow me on any of those social medias, feel free to do so. But anyways, guys, that is going to be it for this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm SoresanCrockxen, and I'll see you guys in future videos.